Start recording button, and I'm going to go ahead and start. Hopefully it's going to work okay. This recording always scares me, but what can you do? And I just closed the chat box because sometimes it happens. Let me go back to view. There we go. There's questions. There it is. It's raining in Seattle. Gary, good to see you. I saw your question on Halloween affiliate, the Halloween program, Gary. If you haven't seen my response, we'll have the webinar next week. I really want you to focus on the module on the cash grab, Halloween cash grab. Don't worry so much about links and really focus on the Halloween webinar we had about 8 or 10 days ago. Kat, good to see you. Rick Lomas, always a pleasure. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do today. How many of you are in the Revenge of the Affiliates program? Because I've gone ahead and I've added the Kindle Ritual people as well. So anybody that is shown interest in Kindle, you're invited. You're looking right now at the inside. No sound. I think there is sound, Sharon. Anyway, yeah, I hear you. You guys, everyone else can hear me fine. So hopefully Sharon figures her sound out. Here's what we're going to do today, guys. First off, I'm going to talk specifically to the Revenge members. You're all welcome here. We're going to talk a little bit about outsourcing because I know so many people that are doing outsourcing are outsourcing their content, and very, very smart. And not just about outsourcing content for Kindle, but there are so many things that you can do to outsource your business online. And I've got a gentleman by the name of Gaurav. Gaurav, are you here now?
I am here, Brian. Thanks.
Can you guys hear Gaurav okay? Gaurav, why don't you say something again?
Hi, this is Gaurav. Really nice to be here at this webinar.
Okay, awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Gaurav. So we're getting lots of yeses. That's great. And first off, what I want you guys to do, actually it was Gaurav's birthday, I believe yesterday or on Saturday. So wish Gaurav a happy birthday. So like I said, I'm going to address the Revenge of the Affiliates members. We're going to talk with Gaurav a little bit about outsourcing. And specifically, I'm going to walk you guys through some of the training that we've been through before with Revenge of the Affiliates. We're going to go over parts of the webinar number 5. So if you're a Revenge of the Affiliates member and you attended webinar number 5, it's going to be good to revisit that and think about that again. I'm not going to go as deep into it, but I'm going to really go over the most important parts. Then we're going to have Gaurav come in. We're going to talk about what Gaurav and I have been doing together, and we're just going to open your mind up to some additional possibilities with outsourcing. I also want to let everybody know tomorrow we'll be having another webinar in the evening. I've been sending out plenty of emails. You probably have signed up for that webinar. If you haven't, I'll send out another webinar later tonight, so be checking for your emails. And that webinar is going to focus on some new strategies that I'm going to implement with my smoothie book for promotions. So make sure you register for that as well because it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to show you actually a new cover that I've developed, some new ideas and tactics, and we're going to leverage a piece of software to help us with that process. So that's coming up tomorrow. Okay, does that sound good to everybody? All right, so first off, Revenge of the Affiliate members. I want to let you guys know, we're pretty much about at the 75–80% way through the program. I've had a lot of fun. It's been so inspirational to see your results, so good for you. If you still feel like you're just trying to get there and you're trying to, get to having a book published or your second book published, keep going, please, for yourself, because the amount of success that the students have had in this program have been tremendous. We've had numerous #1 best-selling books. We've had numerous best-selling Amazon books. We've had students make all their money back for this program on their first book published outside of a children's book, and in 1 month. So think about that. One book that would earn you a minimum of $500. Just the results have been tremendous. And everything that those people did is based on the training in this program. So if you follow through, if you follow this, you can really have great results. we're going to have some new modules for the Revenge of the Affiliates program popping up probably mid to the end of next week. I have family coming in a day or two, and I'm going to spend basically a long weekend with family, and then I'm going to be working on, I'm really excited about module 5.2 and a few other modules, but specifically I can't wait to get to module 5.2. I've got some ideas that I think you guys are going to like. I'm going to jump on that, and we'll have those modules coming out, like I said, next week. So stay tuned for that, okay? All right, so guys, what we're going to do in this webinar is I want to go over and share with you some of the basics of outsourcing and how to make sure that you get your money's worth. How to make sure that the money that you're spending can best impact your ability to generate revenue online, okay? And let me see, I want to look at my dashboard. Looks like you guys can see the screen fine. The screen's coming in fine for everybody? Looks good to me. All right, awesome. Okay, cool. So the first thing I want you guys to think about is, I've seen this so often, is people jump into outsourcing, and quite honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, people spend money with the hopes of being able to move forward, but they don't really understand what they're doing, right? And the thought is, well, if I pay somebody, then they're going to take care of it for me and I can move forward. Now, unfortunately, the reality is that if you don't really understand what you're trying to do, whether it's SEO, whether it's a type of a book, whether it's link building, whether it's creating videos, if you don't understand the process yourself, it's nearly impossible to give someone instructions to help them move forward and get what you need to get a good result. So it's imperative that you understand what you do first. Now, really the way I've run my business is I kind of like to do most of the stuff myself. I write a lot. I do my own videos. I outsource when there's certain tasks that I just can't do, but I know enough about those to get the results I'm after. So when we talk about outsourcing for a Kindle, the very best thing you can do is to create a solid book outline, okay? And we're going to talk about the steps of creating a solid book outline in about 5 or 6 minutes, okay? So the steps really begin, obviously, with making sure that first you're going to create a book in a market that is going to sell. And whether you've bought my Kindle Ritual, whether you've been in this Revenge of the Affiliates program, whether you've got the 6-step guide, you understand that it's imperative to really know that the book you're going to create has been proven to sell by other authors. And again, you can go to the training that I've provided. And the only way you got here, really, guys, is to have some Kindle training from me. And then step 2 is to name your book based on my strategies for understanding keywords, understanding what people are searching for in Amazon, and then to leverage those keywords. In fact, just for the fun of it, I want to do this. Let's just go to Amazon, and let's go ahead and look at Kindle. I'm going to come into Kindle Books. It looks like they moved the menu a little bit. And I'm going to search for Amazon self-publishing. I think I got there we go. Okay, so guys, check out the results here, okay? Really, really competitive. Incredibly competitive. 10,751 results come up for Amazon self-publishing. The very first book that shows up is a free book by Amazon. So obviously, that's got so much going for it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's coming up #1. And, people are downloading it. They're giving it good reviews. So it gets more downloads. That impacts the ranking and so on. But if we just scroll down a little bit, on page 1, it looks like about number 6 or 7, is this book, Self-Publishing on Amazon, which was put out by some of the members of this program. And they targeted the search term, and they were, again, like number 5 or 6 or so out of over 10,000 keywords. So you want to pay attention to what people are searching for, not only on Amazon, but on Google. Let's go to Google now and type in Amazon self. And actually, just for the fun of it, let's do this. Self-publishing on Amazon. Let's change the search term a little bit. Okay, self-publishing on Amazon. There we go. I'm going to search for that. Let's see if we do even better. Number 1 out of 1,000 results. And for the other term, we were like number 6 out of 10,000. Now, if we search this in Google, I'm curious. This is a brand new book. It just came out. So usually what I see is it takes maybe anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks to show up. Amazon. I don't see it. Don't see it yet. But, you know, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if that book makes it in the top 20, top 10 results of Google, and it just pays to pay attention to all those search terms. Okay, so that's really the second step, right, is to really pay attention to the process, really think about, you know, the marketing and so on. And then the next step, obviously, we've talked about this, is to have a great cover. I'm amazed at how many people have covers that look like they're self-published, that look like are put together by people that don't really understand graphic design and so on. And the cost for a cover is pretty reasonable. In fact, you know, I spend usually between $20 and $50 for most of my covers, and I get great books created. So get a good cover because it can really impact your ability to sell. Okay, then we come to the book outline. So you understand what your topic is going to be about. You know, you want to create a topic based on maybe developing six-pack abs. You've seen that it sells well in Amazon. You've studied search terms in both Amazon and Google. You've created a title. And the next step is the book cover. Now, after that, you're going to want to create a book outline. So when you go to an outsourcer, you're giving them all the information that you want in your book. And, you know, I've talked to so many people, and they don't do this. And they're like, oh, create a book on six-pack abs, and they're disappointed. So a good outline will really save you the pain and anguish because you're telling people exactly what to do. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, you know, one of the things that I want you to think about is to choose topics that you clearly understand, right? To go into book niche markets where there's an overlap between the knowledge you have and what the consumers are looking to buy on Amazon. You'll be amazed at how many times your life overlaps. Maybe you're very skilled with photography. You've got a passion for photography, but maybe you don't want to write out a whole book. Well, you could have that outsourced. Or another thing you can do is you can just choose subjects that are fairly easy to move forward with. You know, there's no secret why I chose smoothie recipes. It's really simple, yet so many people are looking to spend money. That makes it easy for anybody, whether it's me or someone else, to write content. And I want you guys to know it's not just about being an expert per se. It's about sharing your voice. It's about sharing your experience. And one of the things you can do is, even if you're just getting started, like let's say you wanted to create a book on photography or internet marketing, and you don't feel like, you know, you've got that expert status, you can create a journal-type book. And you can start adding entries ever so often, and over time you can, you know, journal your experience, the ups and downs, what went well, what worked, what helped you make money, what didn't work at all, software that was helpful, tools, tactics. And over time, you would have something that would be very interesting to read, especially if you really stuck to it and you started doing very well. I mean, I know I'd be really excited to read a book about how a new internet marketer went from nothing to making $1,500, $2,000 a month in the span of 6 months. That's the kind of stuff that people would love. And with that, I want you to know that don't feel like you can't do it because you don't have the expert status. Because you don't have to have the expert status to get started. Again, it's really about sharing viewpoints. It's about sharing your perspective. It's about sharing your story. Okay, let's talk specifically now about how to hire an outsourcer and where to go to really ensure that you get the most for your money. Okay, one of the things I want you to think about is I prefer to hire people at a higher wage, especially at some of the places I'm going to share with you, because even the higher payments are still very, very reasonable and inexpensive, and you get what you pay for. If you're paying someone, incredibly cheap rates, you're probably going to get an incredibly cheap book that you're going to be disappointed with. It's going to get bad reviews, and that's going to make it hard for you to make the money you're after. Or instead of just hiring the most expensive, ensure that you're going to hire someone that's going to deliver quality work. And I'll share how to do that as we move forward. And again, I just mentioned this. Think about simple topics. If you're going to outsource, if you find topics that are easier to create content on, you're more likely to get something back that is going to be acceptable with the end consumer, right? So think about that. Children's books are a wonderful example. If you're writing a nonfiction book about the science of sharks and it's for adults, boy, you better really know your business, because those people, they understand sharks. But a children's book about sharks is a completely different story. So think about that, and it often makes sense to go into topics that are easier to create content on. Okay, let's talk about creating the outline. What exactly do you do? One of the things I want you to think about is that you can go in and you can literally just use the look inside feature. So let's go to Amazon, right? And someone give me a topic that we might want to have an outsourcer create a book upon. We'll make it a little interactive. Needlework. Okay, that's pretty darn good. Anybody else? Skiing, that's pretty good too. Paleo diet, okay, that's pretty awesome. DIY, let's do paleo diet. Okay, so travel tips. All these are really, really, really good topics. We'll go ahead with paleo. So let's type in paleo. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pay attention to some of the search results. I'm going to choose this book. Wow, check this out, guys. I like the cover. It spoke to me. It's got 1,100 reviews. It was published about a year, 2 years, almost a year ago, I guess. So it's been out for almost a year. And if we come in, we can see it's $9.99. So they're getting paid at 70% royalty. That's pretty good. There's a paperback and a Kindle edition. And if we scroll down, we'll see that it's really ranking well in several categories, right? I'm going to come to nutrition. Now, these are some of the best-selling books in nutrition. So if I look here, I'm just going to look through, and we have the paleo diet. So I'm going to open this up in a new tab, and to do that, I'm just going to right-click on the cover and select Open New Link, or Open in New Tab. And I'll scroll down, Paleo Manifesto. That sounds pretty awesome. And it's another book on paleo, so we'll check that out. No Meat Athlete, that's probably not it. How about this one? Revised, the Paleo Diet Revised, so I'll take a look at that. Now, all I need to do to get some ideas is use the Look Inside feature and to come in and literally, just grab all these chapter headings. So we have chapter 1, and we have subheading, subheading, subheading. And what I would do is I would, copy this in, I don't know if I can, you can't copy, so I would just go like this, right? Let's make it a little bigger. I was hoping it wouldn't do that, but, well, we have the whole screen, so we don't have to worry about that. I would do this. Maybe we'll do it like this. We'll do it this way. There we go. So I would just start making bullet points based on this. Low carb question mark. Health secrets of our ancestors. Most problems with most low carb diets. So that's pretty good. I would put issues with most low carb diets, and I would just repeat this and go through, and then what I would do is just go to the next book and do the same thing and see if there's anything that I've missed. The first thing I do when I create any book outline is I sit down and I just start adding my own bullets based on what I know. Now sometimes that means I'm going to basically create 2 or 3 bullets and I'm going to be done. They might be based on search terms, and with that I could just do this, right? I could go and I could say, well, what are people searching for? So I go to Google and I go paleo, and then I see diet recipes, pancakes. Okay, so paleo recipes, paleo diet. And then after that, I would just scroll through the alphabet. We've been here 100 times. We've done this. Apple crisp, alcohol, appetizers. Okay, appetizers is interesting. Breakfast, anything, chicken, challenge. Okay, what's that all about? Dessert, diet menu. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to put down menu, right? And I could do that as well to come up with ideas. And after I've kind of effectively run out on my own, then I would come back and I would do what we're doing now. I would kind of look through some of these books and look for the outline of the book or the chapter headings, and this one might not have any. Here we go. Part 1. And again, maybe it's at the end of the book, so I'm not going to get too hung up on that. There's plenty of books I can look at. I'll just go to this one. And if you do this, you're going to come up with tons and tons of ideas that will help you to format and really shape your book. Here we go, and this table of contents is coming up very early. This one looks like it's based on a lot of recipes. So if I'm going to do a recipes book, this particular outline or table of contents would be very helpful, right? They've got 30-day meal plan. Okay, so we just wrote down a menu. Meal plan is simple. Similar, I might enter that as well. So meal plan. Cancer recovery, that's kind of interesting. Pork, lamb, treats and sweets, dips, etc. So that's a great way. And then the last thing I want to share with you, let's just go back to Google again, is if we're looking for paleo diet, I'm just going to search for paleo diet forum, and I want to look for a forum that has people asking questions about the paleo diet, and I want to see what interests them. And if there's something that comes up time and time again, I'm going to make sure to add it to my outline and so on. Now, as you go through this and you really spend time to create a great outline, you're going to have lots and lots of bullet points. You're going to have lots of ideas that you want covered in your book. And when you go to an outsourcer, you're going to be able to organize that and tell them exactly what you're after. I want a book that is a minimum of 8,000 words, no more than 12,000 words. I'm going to pay you 5 cents a word. I've created a detailed outline explaining everything that I want covered in this book. Another thing you might even think about doing is creating a video where you walk through and you explain what you're after. Again, the more detail you can give people, the better off you're going to be. Lastly, the last thing I do is to organize those bullets afterwards. In the beginning, all I'm trying to do is really get as many ideas down as I can. One of the things I've learned is the more I work with a particular project, the better it gets. That doesn't mean you need to spend all day. You need to find kind of that happy place between quality and being prolific, right? And that didn't even come out right. It can still be quality, but you just don't want to spend too much time. You don't want to overdo it and whatnot. Okay, so after you've done that, you can go to these sites like Need an Article, and you can hire someone. And right here, this is a great site. I've used them before. And you can pay as much as 5 cents per word. And that's great because you can tell someone, again, you know, I don't care if it's 12,000 words or 10,000 words, but my book has to be a minimum of 8,000. I want you just to write content based on this outline until it's done. You know, don't go over 14,000 words. That way you're staying within your budget and you're giving the person that's going to write a parameter to work with it, okay? Yeah, I thought about a screenshot, Tony. Tony's got a great point, too. One of the things you can do with the table of contents with Amazon is just to do a screen capture, and then you can kind of look at those at a later date and use those to put together a book outline. Some people like to work on paper. Some people like to work strictly on their computer. I kind of do both. So, you know, you're going to find out how you want to work. So, good point, Tony. Okay, so this is a really good site. And again, one of the things I want to get across is so often people ask, you know, how long should the book be? I like to give people parameters. Don't worry about it. If you do a good book outline, you're going to get a tremendous book back because you're giving people such specific instructions. Freelancer is another great site. Now, one of the things I like about Freelancer is you can log in and you can have them do a multiple of different types of projects and whatnot. Now, I'm not going to log in today on this webinar. We don't really have time to do that. If you're a member of Revenge of the Affiliates, you can actually go to webinar number 5, and I do log in and I go through all the points of a Freelancer. And this is nice because they offer so many, you know, it's a place where coders, writers, developers, and consumers meet, and you can hire them to do multiple jobs. What I want you to think about, again, is just hire someone based not on how cheap they are, but based on the kind of performance they can provide. One of the things with most outsourcing sites is you can look at the people that are doing the work, and you can look for references from previous jobs. You can look at how many jobs they've done. You can look at how their star ratings and so on. Those are all really, really helpful. One of the things I like to do when outsourcing, and I want to mention this, is when I post a bid, so the way these sites work is you create a bid on a project, and then you ask coders or developers to create a bid for the project. And I like to have them say a funny word like purple elephant or raspberry zucchini, something to this nature. And if they don't, I know they're not paying attention, they're not listening. Heck, they might not have even read my job. They're just posting, oh, we can do great work. Well, how can they do great work if they haven't even read my proposal, you know, what I'm looking for, or my spec sheet? So make sure that people do that. And the thing you want to say is, you know, in your proposal, at the very beginning of your proposal, please mention raspberry zucchini or purple elephant so you know that they're paying attention. Again, I'm going to stress, I'm not looking for the cheapest. I'm looking for the writer that can create the best job based on what I need at a reasonable price. I always hire those people. I'm not looking for the cheapest. I'm not looking for the most expensive. I'm looking for someone that I feel can do a really solid job at a reasonable price point. Now, one of the things when you're looking at various sites, again, review the people that are going to create the content for you. You can check their past jobs. You can check completion rate. You can check if they were on budget. You can check and see if they were on time, and so on. These are all the different types of things you can do at some of these sites like Freelancer. Now, Freelancer is a bigger marketplace, but you're dealing with different people. So that's one of the things you should think about. One of the reasons I got with Gaurav, and I mentioned this to the Revenge of the Affiliate students probably about a month ago, was that we wanted to create packages based on this training. So the people doing the work already knew what we were after. And the people that were hiring, right, were getting the training from the same spot. there would be congruency between those people that are doing the work and those people that we're hiring. So I started talking to Gaurav, and Gaurav went through this program. He studied this program, and specifically he put out a number of books on Kindle, and he's now making money. He enjoys the Kindle opportunity. And with that, I'm going to let kind of Gaurav come on and say hello. I can probably control the screen for you, Gaurav, or if you want to take control of the screen, whatever you want to do is fine. And we want to tell you guys about some of the packages and what we've come up with as far as another place for you to look at outsourcing your content. And right now we're primarily focused on Kindle. I'd say 40, 50, 60% of the packages are Kindle. We already have a few other packages that are beyond Kindle, but in the future, we'll see about adding additional packages based on what I teach. So, Gaurav, great to have you on board.
Hey, Brian, thanks a lot for having me here. Really excited about this Kindle opportunity. We've been playing around with Kindle for a little over a month, learned a lot, and definitely looking at scaling this business and getting out a good amount of quality ebooks out there on Kindle and looking at some recurring revenue coming this way. So thanks again for putting this course together. It's really been an eye-opener. It was the first course that we studied for Kindle, and definitely really enjoying everything, all the training material you put out there.
Awesome. You're more than welcome.
Also, Brian, just, we've been doing outsourcing for quite some time, and you've brought up a lot of points over the last few minutes about outsourcing, and a couple of things that I'd like to highlight as well as, when you're working with an outsourcing company, you really want to give out as much detail as possible. Snapshots are great, videos are great, a table of contents is great, because that way you're really setting expectations. And once we understand what your expectations are, it makes our job a lot easier to go out and research these topics and kind of give you what you want. And that was one. And again, like a clear outline, it just kind of it removes any kind of gray area, because it's so specific. We've got 10 things to research, 10 things to write about, and you're going to get something back what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's one of the things that I've always taught and that we worked in. So what I'll do now, Gaurav, is I'll just go to the site and I'll show folks what we have lined up. So guys, what we did is we created a site called Outsourcing. And again, one of the things I want you to know is we created this site based on what I'm teaching, the strategies and so on. Guys, I want to let you know that we'll answer any questions you have as we get kind of towards the end. I know you're going to have questions and whatnot. And one of the things I want you to know right now is this is your webinar. This is your chance to tell us what you want. I know there's a lot of people here that are writing their own books, they're moving forward, and they're doing it themselves. That's awesome. We're not really trying to pitch you anything. At the same time, we know that when you get to a point where you're making a certain amount of money, you'd like to outsource and scale the business and make even more. One of the things we want to do is we want to hear what you're interested in, what you like, what you think is fair. And, obviously, everybody wants the best at the cheapest price. And we did, and trust me, I sent numerous emails to try to drop these prices as low as we can, but still maintain integrity, still maintain really quality work, and I think that's what we have here. So as we go forward and we show you guys these packages and what they consist of, we'll ask for your questions, and we'll ask for what you'd like to see in the future. And Gaurav is very open to working with me and breaking out these packages, which he's already done a couple times, to really meet your needs. Okay, so I want to let you know that really feel free to add content as for what you're looking for. Okay, so at this point, this is what we've created right now. Do you want to talk a little bit about these packages, Gaurav?
Sure. So the first one is the children's ebook. That's what we got started out with. It's fairly easy. There's no rocket science in this. You are writing for kids. And this is something that we recommend, if you're starting out, it's great to get going with. Pick a topic, and you know, we do our best to do some research and get some content out for you. The next one is the nonfiction ebooks. You know,
before we go that fast, Gaurav, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I mean honestly, I'm really interested in what everybody wants, and I don't want to just go through all of this and then say, do you guys have questions? Because if we do that, somebody's going to be interested in one thing, someone else is going to be interested in something else, and so on. Like, how many of you here are outsourcing right now? I'm curious. We have almost 100 people here. You guys are pretty attentive. Are you guys interested in this kind of stuff? Some of my things, I am, no, me, yes on Fiverr, yes indeed, yes, I'm outsourcing, no outsourcing, too expensive, but I'm interested, yes, maybe, seriously considering, sometime. So at this point, we have a ton of people that are. They're already there. They're already spending money. Too costly again. So one of the things I want you guys to think about is, here's your chance to get a children's ebook, all the content written that you need for 40 bucks. And that's between 1,000 and 2,000 words. How many of you are outsourcing this kind of content now, children's books? And is this something that you're interested in? And I want to get out I need to find a piece of paper. I need some more notepads. Does anybody, how many people like notepads as much as I do? Give me a second, guys. I need to get some paper from my printer. Otis, go bed. Go bed, buddy. Okay. So Kelda, is the kids book only? Not at this point, and this is something, Gaurav, I think you should put nonfiction. That's pretty much what we're planning on doing, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so I think you should add that to the bullet points on children's ebook.
Right.
Okay, so I just added that in. Yep. So that was a great question, and thank you, Kelda. So it's nonfiction. Is everybody here familiar with the concept of nonfiction children's books? I'm guessing it's going to be 98% because I taught the heck out of it in free webinars, paid webinars, coaching, etc. So yes, 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 yes. Okay, so good. Now, one of the things right away we got, does it include pictures? Let's talk about pictures. Gaurav?
Yeah. You know, Brian, we've spoken about this, and I think that pictures really do add a lot of value to this. For now, especially for this webinar, we definitely include between 10 to 20 pictures for the kids' ebooks.
Yeah, one of the things, and Gaurav, I'm literally, you guys know how you show up at a webinar, and then the host says, "I'm sorry, I'm throwing you on the spot," and then you're like, "Oh, it's so hokey and shit." Well, Gaurav can tell you that I'm pretty much throwing him under the bus, and I'm not throwing him under the bus. We've talked about this a number of times, but I just think this is it's gonna be an easier way for us to move forward. And if you remember, Gaurav, when we first came up with this package, it was 50 bucks. It includes pictures, and I said, no, I want it cheaper. So he made it cheaper, but he took away the part about the pictures. So I really think what we should have is it should be, Gaurav, like the Brian G. Johnson Children's Nonfiction ebook, and here are the options. 40 bucks is in fact, call it the bare bones. It's $40. It's just content, et cetera, or whatever that price is going to be. And then the next level would be, it would have more pictures, and they would be sourced from Oh, I just forgot the name of the site. Guys, what's the name of the site? Fiverr. Or no, not Fiverr. Dang that, but
I think it's Shutterstock.
no, not Shutterstock. No.
Flickr.
Flickr, yes. Okay, so Flickr is free. So one of the things I think we just need to have like 2 or 3 offerings for the children's book blueprint. And what I can do is later, I can make a video available free explaining what it is on a website, and I can direct people to this page, and they can get the content, and they can choose A, B, or C, or maybe just two versions. But we should have a bare bones with just text, and we should have another one that is text and content. Do you guys agree on that? Does that make sense? Kind of. Yes. Yep. So, and one of the things, I'm kind of thinking in my head right now, Gaurav, there's basically 2 ways to go with images, and I don't know how, we want to keep it simple so people understand. So far, pretty much the majority of people are on track right now. I think people that are more advanced in doing a lot of this, they'd have no problem understanding how to use Flickr images, and we would say they need to be attributed, or, you have to add attribution. At the same time,
Right.
You told me you've got the ability to include pictures that people wouldn't have to add attribution.
Right. We do use a lot of royalty photographs where you don't need to add in the attribution. So that was one option that we were thinking of.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you have a license to do that, because a lot of times it's not like you can buy an image and bundle it with multiple books for multiple people.
Let me double check on that. I do think that you get rights to use them in your ebooks, but I need to make sure about that.
Right. I just want to make sure that you can, like, if you get a picture of a shark, can you sell it to one person, or can you sell it to 5 people? I just want to make sure that we do everything as we should.
Right.
Yeah, so Melody, one of the things to think about is some people might want to select their own pictures. We get that they need pictures, absolutely. But what if someone has already got a subscription to a picture service? Then they might not want that. They're going to get it on their own. And one of the things Gaurav's team can do is they can just put in, you probably would want to include a picture here of a shark eating a seal. And at the same time, somebody else might want the pictures already included. So, and again, Melody, we can create a package based on free Flickr images, and I'm sure we'll do that because that's very easy, but they have to be attributed, and some people won't want to add attribution to their book. So that's why we'll have different offerings. Again, this would be nonfiction, just nonfiction books. So again, Gaurav, make sure that's coming up a lot, fiction or nonfiction.
Yep, we'll have children's nonfiction.
Okay, cool. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything you'd like to see? I know 99% of you aren't having an issue with formatting. Is that correct? That's one of the things I took away is because you guys have a solution with the software we provided. So one of the things I want to make clear is when you submit a project to be done with Outsource IM, that's the site we're showing you right now, you would create an outline, just like I showed you. You would go through, and if you're going to have a nonfiction children's book created about sharks, you'd want to spend an hour or so creating an outline of the book that you want to get back. And by doing that, the standard of work is going to be a higher caliber. And, quite honestly, everybody that uses this service, I want them to be, at least investing enough time to do a proper outline. So that's how we would handle that. Are there security guarantees on our intellectual property? So that's a really good question. What kind of guarantee are you going to give people on, once you create something for them, it's theirs, they own it, and, you're not going to infringe upon their intellectual property?
Yep, absolutely. The content that we put out there is 100% yours. We do have a couple of, some kind of NDAs which we'd be happy to pass on to you once we move forward.
Okay, awesome. And of course, like I said, I've known Gaurav for a long time. He's run several different outsourcing companies. He works with a staff. They care about what they do. And he wouldn't be here if that's not the case. So, I'm giving you guys my word. Okay. So Paul says, is it less expensive to go through need an article for a nonfiction book of 8 to 12,000 words? So do we want to cover that now? I mean, as far as the price points that you see here, they're pretty compatible. And one of the things, I want you to think about is that, again, Gaurav has worked with me. Gaurav has gone through the training that I've provided. And, I'm asking you guys in the kind of messages I would put up for people that want to work with outsourcers and Gaurav is we would provide instructions to ensure that you're getting a very high-quality product back. That really wouldn't be the case at Need an Article. You would have to educate them on what you want. Does that mean that this is a better solution? No, it just means that it's a different solution. Now, specifically, when we talk about something like the children's ebook, the children's nonfiction ebook, that's a pretty simple task, and Gaurav knows it like the back of his hand because he's gone through the material. So that's one of the things that you should think about, and so on. I hope that makes sense, Paul. Mike says, does it go through Copyscape?
Yep, but the content that we put up is 100% original. Definitely pass the Copyscape measure.
Yeah, and Mike, what I would say, it's good to see you, Mike. Of course, it's going to be put through Copyscape. This is all 100% original material. But at the same time, I'm glad that you're thinking about that because no one cares about your content than you. And, Gaurav says it does, but it wouldn't take you that long to go to Copyscape and, put a paragraph through there and to ensure that it's the right kind of content, whether you're getting the content from Gaurav or someone else. So just think about that moving forward. So Frank, and here's the thing, guys, and I'm not going to try to pick on you, okay, but I want you to think about this. Frank says, do we need to provide an outline for a children's ebook, or can we just provide a topic? Well, you can just provide a topic, but I would prefer that you created an outline. It's not that hard. It doesn't take that long. And I think you're going to be more happy with what you get back because you're telling people what you want. If you just say to someone, I want you to create a book about sharks, you could get so many different things back because you're not really providing a lot of detail. So I would really encourage you to create an outline, and that's one of the things that we're going to implement. Okay, so guys, we'll talk about some of the other packages in just a minute. Anything else before we move on? Any other questions for the children's ebook content? And just, I want to go back one last time, not to beat a horse dead, but Kelda says, I've tried both ways, with an outline and without an outline. Without an outline, I get something I had to pretty much rewrite anyway. It makes so much sense just to, do that bit of work to ensure you're getting something quality back. Anybody else have anything else? Do you guys have, are you interested in getting one of these children's ebooks from us? If so, what would you like to see? What wouldn't you like to see, etc.? Can you not make an outline as you go? I'm not sure what you're saying by that, Jill. Can the outsourcer make an outline, or can you make an outline? Okay, so here's some good feedback. Okay, Gaurav, couple things. And so, yeah, just as you're writing the book, make an outline. I think you're talking about if you were to outsource, Jill, can't the outsourcer make an outline? And they can, but again, that's not what we're going to do. So I'm just going to say that because it's going to result overall in a higher quality of a product. And we're looking for people that want to put an outline together of what they want and submit it and then get a book based on that content. So a couple more things and then we'll move on. Okay, so Kelda says, yes, so Kelda's interested in using the service and would like an option without photos. So this is exactly what I expected, you know, especially people that are really serious students in my coaching. They've already have solutions for images. So something like this, a children's book at the bare bones, it's just content, it's nothing else. And what you should do, Gaurav, is you should include places that make sense to have an image, like one dash panda by a bamboo tree, a little bit of information about habitat, and then another a place marker for an image. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, cool. So we want to have one, call it bare bones, price it as cheap as you can, $40 or less or whatever you can do, and it's just the content and that's it. Then we should also include at least one other that includes images from Flickr. Someone else says that they're interested in a book that includes public domain images. So that was pretty interesting. Les says, and this is really for you to tell us, Gaurav, I think I know the answer, but this is really for you. He says, I would love to see fiction children's books.
Okay. Here's something that we could definitely introduce slightly later on. We haven't really done any so far, so I wouldn't really want to put that up right now, but definitely something worth considering, and if this is what people want, we can definitely give our packages that meet their requirements.
Yeah, one of the things I'll mention, guys, is a book is incredibly subjective, especially when you go to fiction. A story, you know, we're trying to make it as clean cut as possible so that the buyer sends in a payment, includes some information exactly on what they want, and then the outsourcing team can take it and move forward. So, you know, I figured Gaurav would say something like that. We're just trying to get started. We want to work with nonfiction right now, but that's something we can certainly look into. Jack says, can we review before payment?
So we do have a guarantee, 100% guarantee. That is, if you, if it's not your style, if it's not something that you want, we definitely refund your money and make sure that you are satisfied with our products.
Okay, so I hope that satisfies, you know, any worries that anybody has. So 100% guarantee that you'll be comfortable with what you get. And by asking you guys to do the outline, you know, there are a few people that would just like to hand it over and have it done. You know, we feel more confident that we can give you exactly the thing that you want in the end. Another really good question here. What's the turnaround time?
Okay, so yeah, right now we don't know what to expect in terms of volumes. this is the first time that we are offering this as a service. Uh, we're looking at, for a children's book, we're looking at between 7 to 10 days. And as we progress and the books get larger, we look at anywhere between 15 to 30 days for the first time, so that we really understand what you guys want. We'll send a couple of reviews, and post that we'll be able to get a much better idea of what our turnaround time is and what kind of volumes we're looking at.
Yeah, okay, so that's awesome. Thank you for that, Gaurav. So, and again, guys, I'll just reiterate, we're trying to figure out the best way to craft this site to ultimately deliver value at a very reasonable price. And we always don't know. I'm the first one to tell you guys. It's like I tell people, well, what do you do? I work online. Oh, they assume that I'm like a genius about everything, and that's not always the case. So we're figuring this out right now. But 1 week for a children's nonfiction book. Paul, I'll ask it. Do you think children's books could be done with the law of attraction twist? Let me address that, Gaurav, and then you can add your feedback. Paul, if you create an outline that gets into that, then I think yes. So again, that's why we're asking people to do an outline. This is such a great example of why I'm going to keep banging this outline on the head over and over again. Because if someone comes and they're like, oh, I want a children's book with a law of attraction twist, and it should include a story of a zoo, and that's it. There's just too many places to go. And what you might have in your mind is what you want, and what you get is different. So, Paul, if you were able to create that outline and it was a nonfiction book, that's what we want to do. We can go there. What do you think? Is that getting a little too, and we're trying to start off with pretty simple books. What do you think, Gaurav?
Definitely, Brian, once we do have the table of contents, we understand what the law of attraction is, we have an outline, we definitely be able to put something together once we have the outline.
Okay, awesome. So there you go. Do a damn outline, everybody. Is there a way to get an app, say, for book on... Is that app? Is that right? Is there a way to get app, say, for a book on horns? And do you get the sound? Okay, I think I see. We're not ready to go there, I don't think, anyway. I think you're asking for like an interactive book or a book that's got like different dimensions to it. We're trying to recreate kind of, what I've been teaching, and I haven't taught that yet. And again, we want to start off easy. So eventually, Gaurav, is that something you can do where a book has sounds and it's got interactive and maybe there's questions?
Brian, if you put out a course that teaches us how to do it, we create a package around it.
Okay, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, so... guys, I want you to think about this, okay? This is based on what I've been doing and having success with and so on. So it's like you can ask those questions, but again, if you haven't seen me talk about, probably not. We don't do stuff that we don't understand, so we want it really to be quality. How to kids book. Yeah, if you create, Sherry, if you create an outline for us, we can. So if you want to do a book about how kids can learn how to set the table or cook, they can do it, no problem. Okay, Melody, are these folks doing the research and the writing? Well, if you create an outline, you're doing part of the research for us, but they will follow up and they will do any research necessary to create a good product. So it's a little bit of both. You're doing some of the research and so are they. You're creating a book outline based on what I've taught in Kindle Ritual, based on what I've taught in Revenge of the Affiliates, and then you're going to submit that outline and they're going to write a book based on the outline. Okay. Yeah, Lauren, I'll let Gaurav decide. I'm not going to talk about prices right now. We're going to tweak what we have a little bit and so on. But I mean, I think we're all in the ballpark right now. You know, we're certainly in the ballpark. We're not off of what you quoted there. Okay, Ray again. Ray says, "Hi, Brian. I looked at the site. It's a bit rudimentary." Absolutely, it's a bit rudimentary. This is a special webinar where you have a chance to help us create something. And I'm sorry if it's rudimentary, but that's because it's rudimentary and it's a beta. So this is your chance. This is an opportunity to help shape the way this site is. So thank you for your opinion, but we're not done yet. Tell us about the writers. Beth asked a really good question. Are the writers native English writers?
Okay, that really is a great question, and it's one question that I like to answer. Most of these people, I'd say 100% of these writers have been to college. So in India, the way it works is it's 10 plus 2, and then they do another 3 years of college where they get their bachelor's. Now, most of these colleges, they are kind of accredited by a US university or a UK university. So the English levels are fairly decent. They are 100% proofread by people who've been speaking English, who have been speaking English. We do have a couple of English teachers, people who teach English in high schools, who've offered to do some kind of editing for us, proofreading for us. So that's kind of the general feel of the people who are doing the writing.
Okay, awesome. And again, you know, Gaurav has done this for a while, a number of years. I've known him. He's worked with some of the best internet marketers on the planet, ones that you've heard about. And you're going to get good stuff back, guys. So hope that helps. So right now, what does someone get for this? Is this pretty much the bare bones ebook?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so what you get is content and placeholders for images. We'll also create a second version of the children's nonfiction ebook with pictures included, and that will be available in the future. And Kit, I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in going into the interactive stuff. One of the things I've always tried to do, and I don't think it's one of the reasons for my success, I know it's one of the reasons for my success, is I keep things simple. And, you know, what I do is I try to look at what people are spending their money on online, and then I go that direction. Does that mean you can't make money with an interactive book? Absolutely not. But again, I'm looking for something simple that I can move forward with and make work. When I started figuring out that people were buying children's books, it was awesome. I mean, to make $300 in a month from a book that took maybe 8 hours and was completed in less than a week by outsourcers, that's really powerful. And that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. So, you know, that's what we'll be doing. Can it be scaled up? Yes, it can be scaled up by doing similar books, Jack.
You know, Brian, with outsourcing, there's always, I mean, one of the number one reasons of outsourcing is that you can scale up, especially when you find a team of writers that kind of meet your requirements. Then it's easy to add more and more people to your projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then really look at scaling the numbers. Once you found your niche and you start doing sequences, that's when the real fun begins.
Another question, discounts for multiple orders?
I, you know, it definitely makes sense to offer some kind of discount. I have personally haven't really thought of that right now, but we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Again, guys, I want you to realize that, again, we're trying to put something out there that's reasonable, that allows people to move forward, and depending on feedback and how it works, you know, we'll offer more. So, you know, people are like, oh, it's a rudimentary site. Yeah, we're just getting started. No one's seen this. I haven't emailed my list about this. This is a special opportunity. This is the beginning, and we will evolve based on what happens and whatnot. Tony, oh, some people in internet marketing, I tell you, I think, Tony, never mind. I'll just ignore. How many revisions does the price include? One of the things I'll say is, remember, you've got a money-back guarantee. Gaurav, how many revisions on a book?
So yeah, like you said, we do have a money back guarantee. We do hope to get it right in the first go, but we definitely tweak it depending on your requirements. We really want you to get what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Okay, guys. I think at this point, it's just it's starting to get a lot of questions about how good is this book going to be, and I've got a lot of feedback for Gaurav. We're going to do our damnedest to get you guys awesome stuff. Okay. So I want you to know that I don't want to hem and haw and just nitpick these packages, because that's not what I really want to do. I want to ensure you that what we're trying to do is provide you with something that will help you to move forward and so on, okay? Cost of a series, we're not sure of that because we're just trying to get started. And again, we're talking about the children's book ebook right now, guys. So we don't know about a series because we haven't got there yet. And I don't want to sound pissed off or angry or like I don't want to help you, but I mean, I don't think we can spend 3 or 4 hours on this webinar. What we're just trying to do is get some feedback, to take your feedback, to hear what you're looking for from these basic packages and move forward. Is the kid's book proofread?
Yep.
And actually, don't answer that, because if there's a money-back guarantee, if you're not happy, it will be, you will get what you want. Yes, it's proofread. Absolutely, it's proofread. Yeah, Melody says, any advice on how to take care of your writers? Absolutely. Give them more money. That's what I do, Melanie. When I find someone that's good, I give them a bonus. That's the very best thing you can do. And it doesn't have to be a lot. But when you say, you know, I really appreciate the work you've done, and here's an extra 10% on your pay, that goes so far. Whether you're working with Gaurav on this site or somewhere else, and in the long run, it will save you money to do that, because you'll spend less time looking for good people, which are hard to come by, and so on. This is a really great question. Can you request the same writer if you like the results of a book?
We'll do our best to ensure that you get the same writer.
Okay, so they'll do their best, guys. Okay, I want to let you guys know, another question is, does this include a cover? And it does not include a cover. Again, what you're seeing now is like a very bare bones children's ebook. Gaurav's going to basically scale this where there's a few different options. There's going to be the bare bones, which is just the content and that's it. We'll have another option that includes images, and then maybe there'll be a third that includes a cover as well. I personally, I don't, I'll let Gaurav decide how that's going to work.
Cool. So, Brian, we'll tweak these factors a bit. We'll have a different couple of options where you could have a cover, where you could have images, and it's something that we'll definitely work on right away.
So I feel like I've addressed this, but I'm going to do it one more time. Anita, Roy, it's the content and that's it. Okay, that's it. It's the content. You get 1,000 to 2,000 words of content for $40. We're going to create some additional packages based on what you see here, so you have different options. But that sums it up. You get the content, and that saves you a tremendous amount of time and energy. Can we order today, or when will it be live? I have a few kids' books just about ready to outsource. That's from Kelda, who is very busy with the program, so she's got her outlines already done because she's just a good student and she's getting good results. So.
Excellent. Yep. We're ready to take orders, and once you do make a purchase, we've got a form that you need to fill up where you could paste in your table of contents, and we get ready with the content pretty soon.
Okay, awesome. How about is there a contact address on this page?
Sure. There is a contact form if you scroll down, and there's an email address as well on the right hand side.
Okay, why don't I see it?
You just need to scroll up a little more, Brian.
Scroll up?
Yes, scroll up slightly below. So you need to scroll down to about 3/4 of the page.
Okay, get Richie with us. Okay, here's the contact right here. Okay, great. Okay, guys, so again, you can contact these people too. If there's further questions, if you're not sure, you can contact them and they will help you out. What format is the book supplied?
So we'll be handing over the content in TXT file, so it's just easy to copy paste content.
Okay, so that would be a text file, right? Not on this webinar, Melanie. I can't, no. Okay, guys, again, I want to stay focused on, I'm sorry, Kat, but I'm not going to go into marketing with Amazon right now because that's what this webinar is about, outsourcing and whatnot. So let's talk about the next option here. This is a nonfiction book, Gaurav. So basically, we're offering a nonfiction book. It's $500. It's well-researched. So at this point, tell us, it says well-researched, but at the same time, you're asking for an outline. Is that correct?
That's right. So we do the research based on the outline that you provide us with.
At this point, we're going to only offer content in English. Is that right?
That's correct. Unless you want it in Hindi.
Yeah, if you want it in Indian, then we can do that. Okay, professionally written, 100% original. It's 100% proofread. It's pre-formatted. So 20 images are included. Tell us about the images. Where do you get the images?
Okay, so the images, like I mentioned previously, we've been looking at Shutterstock. Though I need to double check that we could use it in these books? I'm almost certain we are, but I need to double check on that.
Okay, very good. And one of the things, too, that you're going to get, guys, with this nonfiction ebook is you're going to get a suggested title, description, and SEO keywords. Now, that can be helpful because you might do a book outline, you might have some ideas, and then Gaurav's going to give you back a suggested title and description, which might give you additional ideas, and you might wind up with something that's based on yours as well as his suggestions. So that's pretty awesome. Any questions on this package, nonfiction ebook? Okay, so Kelda's got a really good tip for us, and this is kind of what I was mentioning before, Gaurav. Any book, any Kindle content should really be available with pictures and without, because so many of my students have already crossed that bridge. They have got a solution that's working well for them. So if you could make, maybe break this down into, again, like 3 options. One option is just the content alone, and that's about it. The customer submits the outline, you guys write the content, and it's done. Maybe the second one has images, the content, and that's it. And then the third one would be what we're looking at here. It would be the nonfiction. It would 8,000 to 12,000 words, content, images, suggested title, as well as a cover.
Right. Yep. I think that we'll offer that option in all the packages that we have.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Okay, let's. Anybody else have any suggestions as far as what we could offer with the nonfiction ebook, guys? And going once, going twice. Okay, we had some people that were interested in these next few packages. Can they write short stories? Possibly. They can write short stories. We'll definitely consider it. Again, we're trying to get started with these packages, but I'm sure at this point Gaurav has already written down, short stories.
Right.
Okay, is anybody interested in Kindle Jumpstarter or Kindle Boost? Okay, so basically what these are, and here's what we're going to do, okay? I've been working on a new kind of SEO outline. Some of you know about it, some of you don't know about it. It contains a recommendation of probably about 8 to 10 plugins. It also contains like a recommendation of like how to build a site out. And I can get that list of plugins to Gaurav, and he can implement it into this website. So when you get it, it's just ready to go, and it's designed to rank well, and it's leveraging the very way I build my website. And again, this isn't something I dreamt up to sell. This is what I do, and it's kind of fun. This whole thing came about when I created the coaching program. And at the time, I wanted to create a lot of free content to give away that I later would use to build my list. Now, when I launched the program, I spent about 5 hours optimizing my site, and the result was about 200 to 300 new leads to my business a month. That is 200 to 300 people opting into my list based on the things I did. It has to do with Google authorship and different plugins. So again, I'll get him that information. And what we can do too is I actually even have it done. I'm going to send Gaurav like an 8,000 word mini report, and he can put something together based on that you would get with this Kindle Jumpstarter, and you would not only get just an optimized website, but you get a PDF that explains exactly what to do, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and so on. Now, some of these things I'll tell you right now with Google authorship, we can install most things, we can have it ready to go, but you might need to click a few buttons because you would be connecting a plugin to your Google Plus account. So that's one of the things I'll send you, Gaurav, and it will come up with some kind of name for the thing, and that'll be an option.
Great. Sounds good.
So is anybody, Bill says he's interested in Kindle Jumpstarter, so that would be a WordPress optimized website. And here's one of the things to think about, guys. If one of the things I've talked about with Kindle is you don't want to go into 20 niche markets. You want to go into 2 or 3. And you want to have an author pen name associated with each niche. So it would be pretty smart to launch a blog based on the name of the author you create, right? And then you could use this package to kind of jumpstart not just one book, but an author website, and you could have multiple books listed on that website. Does that make sense? I kind of went fast there, but it would give you a chance to have a beautiful looking website, have a beautiful looking Facebook fan page, a Twitter profile, custom cover photos created, graphics, everything would be just done, and you would be responsible for content afterwards. Now, we would offer 5 unique content blog posts to get you started, but the idea here really is this is just giving you what you need to really enter the market at a high level, and it looks amazing and it works well, and you don't have to try to figure it out because we've already done that. So, Cody, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying about. Cody is saying both are great packages, Jumpstart and Booster, a la carte on book promotion. So I'm not sure I quite understand what you're saying by that, Cody. Here's a great package. So Leanne has a really good package. How are we going to handle theme? Leanne says, for the Jumpstarter, do we select the theme that we want, or would the theme already be presented or selected? Okay, here's how I think we handle it. Do you want to hear my suggestion, Gaurav? I think what we want to do is you want to get a couple, 1 or 2 people that get your best WordPress guy and have him select 2 or 3 themes, right, that are current, that work well, there's no bugs, they're fast, they're SEO optimized. And then on the package here, the customer gets to select what theme that they want to move forward with. That way they have a selection and you have something you're comfortable with. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare and it's not what we want.
Right. So we look at these 2 websites. One's called themeforest.net. They've got some beautiful WordPress websites, most of which are really well optimized. And there's another website which is called Woo Themes, again, premium WordPress themes. So I think we could kind of make a selection from a couple of these websites and then kind of use those for each custom theme.
That's perfect. So Woo Themes, Leanne, I've used those myself. They're beautiful. They work well. And, that would give you the comfort in knowing that it's ready to go and works well. And at the same time, it would also give you a chance to select. No, I don't know. Gaurav can't offer any. These are the rates that we have. It's awesome that you're from India, but these are the rates for everybody. So, okay, all right, guys. I want to let you know that we've probably got a few more minutes. I've got people coming to clean my furniture because my dad's coming over, and holy buckets. It's worse than having to clean your room when your parents come over. So, do you guys have any other questions about these packages, what they consist of, and whatnot? we'll kind of just take it from here and go ahead and just add your questions in. It's kind of open. Any questions that you have, I'll do my best to answer. Gaurav, do you want to share anything else before we turn it over to questions? And we'll take questions for the next 10 minutes or until someone knocks on my door. So it's going to either be 2 minutes or to 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, good. I'd just like to highlight that we are getting started. We are very keen on building a solid service, something that provides real value. Feel free to get in touch with us with our contact form below, and we'll get back to you really soon. And pretty excited about this.
Well, I want to let you know, Gaurav, one of the couple comments that just came in was, thank you from Mike. And Kelly says, this is an awesome idea, and she's already placed an order. So there are already people that are going to keep your people busy. And I thank you so much for that, Kelly, because, what we need now is we need enough orders to get people working so they can figure out the best workflow. And we're going to make changes. Gaurav's going to make some changes based on what we've talked about. And as we move forward, we'll create something that really offers you guys a solution that is going to be good for the marketplace. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, you can comment anytime you want to. No problem. The webinar Tuesday or the webinar tomorrow is going to be on a totally different subject. But feel free to drop by on my forum and leave me a message. No problem about that. All right, so we're having a lot of positive feedback, Gaurav. So a lot of people are saying thanks and they're excited. So we'll see how it goes. And like I said, guys, you'll see more information from me coming in the weeks and months to follow. This is just the beginning. We're just trying to kind of start slow so we don't bite off more than we can chew. Yes, there will be a replay. I'll make sure a replay goes out. No problem. Yes, the ebook can be customized based on your requirements, based on the outline you create. So you'll create an outline based on the book you want, and then we'll create that book for you. So absolutely. All right, guys, I think that's about it. Couple more. As long as there's questions coming in, I'll hang out. All right, Andrew says he's interested in the nonfiction package. Sounds cool. So, Gaurav, do you think you can have those broken out packages available in the next 48 hours?
Definitely.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is some of you have probably purchased like a children's book package now. We're going to break out these packages into additional options, and I will mail everybody that signed up for this webinar with that information. Probably in 2 to 3 days. Once Gaurav gets things in place, we'll let you know. So those of you that have ordered now, you're in good hands. We'll be taken care of. And at the same time, if there's something you're looking for, maybe you want to see all the packages, we're working on those as well. How much revenue is a children's book likely to bring in? Anywhere between $25 a month and as much as $300 a month. It really depends on the research. It depends on how the book is created. It depends on the kind of reviews you get. There are so many variables that it's hard to say, but I have personally made upwards of $300 on a children's book. And the ones that are at the bottom of the spectrum usually earn $20 to $30 per month. So one of the things I want you guys to think about that. So worst case scenario, I say $20 to $30 per month, and we're asking for $40. So what if you got a children's book, ebook, and you broke even the first month, and the second month you made $10 and $10 or $30 or $20, and if you did 10 of them, one of them was earning $200 or $300 a month. It can happen. Some of my students have done that. Kindle is really awesome, so I encourage all of you to get involved with Kindle. Okay, a quick explanation of the book promotion is what Cody is asking for. what is the book promotion?
Okay, so the book promotion is essentially the process that you go through while you get your 5 days of your KDP period, and basically getting your book out to as many book exchanges as possible, review websites as possible, and you're kind of building as much buzz as we can during the KDP selection program.
So that would include a giveaway contest on Goodreads, distribution to 20 top promotional book websites. So I remember years and years ago, it was like submit your website to 20,000 search engines or some crazy thing when only 3 of them mattered. So we've identified the top 20 book sites, and we'll distribute your book to those websites, and we'll pair it up with a free KDP promotion. So, and I'll also mention, guys, a press release. Can you tell us about the press release and how that works and what that offers?
Sure. So once we've done some more research, we identified a couple of opportunities to write press releases about. And these press releases are published out to a lot of these websites that offer free press release distribution. So that kind of gets backlinks, a ton of backlinks to your website as well.
Awesome. And it's not just your website. I kind of got fooled by that. It's your book page on Amazon. So one of the things is I've taught guys that, we can look at keywords in Google, and if you get more links to your book page, that can help you rank for those keywords in Google, and it can have a profound effect. So there's lots of different things we're doing to help ensure you sell more. There will be a replay, Dave, no problem. The replay will be coming up, I don't know, probably like Wednesday or Thursday. I'm having a webinar tomorrow, and then afterwards I'll basically render up both webinars and get them available by Wednesday or so. So we'll have those available. But Dave, what I want to let you know is we've taken some of the training from my Kindle programs, and we've broken out outsourcing packages based on that training, and that's what we're talking about here. So. Which keyword research tool is better, KD Suite or AK Elite? They're both very, very good. I like some of the functionality of KD Suite, and it reports back on some categories, and that's good. But at the same time, AK Elite offers some functionality on like just really doing further research and competitive analysis. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those. Anybody have any opinion on which one is better? I'm not sure about Longtail Pro. I believe that's a new keyword tool. I haven't had a keyword tool that I've used extensively in a while. But Longtail Pro looked pretty cool. Gary says KD Suite, I think. Cool. So there you go. One customer says KD Suite. Thanks, Gary, for that. I appreciate it. Can you explain, we'll take a couple more questions and then we're going to wrap up, guys, because I'm going to have Hoyt cleaning at my door any second. Tell us a little bit about the Goodreads contest, Gaurav. How does that work?
So basically the way we set it up is you could, once you do publish this on Goodreads, you could set up a contest on Facebook and kind of encourage the community to go and have a look around Goodreads, and you can have give a couple of copies and so on.
I have a couple more comments. I have a really good comment from Cody that I love, and I want you to hear it, Gaurav. He says, how about a promotional package for when the book is not free? That's tremendous. In fact, again, I think it would be awesome if you could take the Kindle Booster and break that down into like subcategories or sub-packages. One of the things we might consider doing is have one of those book boosters be for a newly released book. So obviously the more things you do, the more exposure your book's going to have, the better. So maybe what we see now would be like the premium, but if we could break some of the things down and have some different options, I think people would like that. And if you can come up with some kind of package to offer people as far as a booster when the book isn't free. So what you were talking about, like distributing the book to promotional websites or to blogs or building links or anything that you could come up with as far as, you know, driving more sales when the book isn't free.
Well, you know, some kind of social media plan that drives more traffic is definitely something that we could work on.
Anybody here that is not in Kindle Ritual, I have your name is Anidia, and I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name really well. If you haven't accessed my Revenge of the Affiliates program, you can get some great free training that's new that happened after Kindle Ritual just by going to the homepage and signing up. As far as gaining access to the whole program, it will become available sometime in the future. I'm not sure when, to be honest. I usually I closed the program off because it was a true coaching program, and you know, I kind of guided people along, but with webinars and handed homework out, and to come in halfway through just doesn't work. So yeah, that's why it's closed now. But it will be available, and all the program will be available again because all the training has been completed. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Gaurav, thank you so much for taking copious notes and just no, it wouldn't. That's part of the other program. So this was kind of a sneak peek, and I wouldn't be able to send all the previous webinars from the program. I'm sorry. Okay, Kelda, you're welcome. We're trying hard. Too much to do, but it's fun. Again, Gaurav, thank you so much for spending time. I really appreciate it, dude.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me over. It's been fun.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go ahead.